Welcome back to Bombastic Nation and Ting and Ting and Ting. I'm Mr. Giant and I'm back with some more vibes for all you. Yes, I. And this one is called American Things European Find Weird. No, I'm from the islands, okay? I'm from the islands and things. So, what I want to do is to see if the things that Europeans find weird about Americans, if I thought it was weird when I first migrated here. And I've been here a while. I've seen some weird stuff. But it's considered weird in conjunction with what I know from my culture. So it would be interesting to see what Europeans think of what's weird about what Americans do. So that's gonna be quite interesting and thing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put this down here so you ain't gonna be dinging up here and bothering us and thing. You know what I mean? But so uh, let's go ahead and YouTube it, simmer and see where I go on with this.
If you've ever seen Quentin Tarantino's hit movie Pulp Fiction, you'll know it opens with a scene in which Samuel Jackson shows his surprise regarding the legality of cannabis smoking in Holland and the fact that the French eat their fries with mayonnaise. Ugh, is his reaction to the use of
What's
such a
wrong with
condiment.
that?
Well, we can tell you ugh works both ways, and there are plenty of things Americans eat, do, believe, and say.
Let's see
that
what they're
Europeans
saying,
find
man.
weird. Today,
This is gonna be
we'll look at some
interesting.
of those things. In this episode of the Infographic Show, American Things Europeans Find Weird. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of a notification squad. We'll stay with food and restaurants for the time being. As we've discussed in other shows, not everyone in the world is so draconian about tipping. In fact, in some parts of Europe, throwing a buck on the counter after receiving a cold beer would be totally insulting. In many European countries, tipping in some situations can be seen as charity. When visiting the US, many Europeans might find it weird that a waiter or waitress keeps coming back to your table. In the States, it may be seen as just good service, but to some Europeans, it can be construed as someone getting in the way of a good meal. That meal, by the way, could be about 3 times larger than many people in Europe are used to. In general, American food portions look to some Europeans like they're supposed to feed 2 people. It may also
Yes.
seem like an act of largesse to some Europeans when someone keeps refilling their glass of soda or cup of coffee for no extra
Yes.
cost. In terms of the food itself, as we noted earlier, Americans and Europeans have very different ideas about.
Okay, I tell you what. When I came here and I see the amount of food they put on a plate, I'm like, who's eating all this stuff? And the funny part about it is, people would go, you big like that and you don't eat that much? No, I don't eat that much. The portions are huge. And I'll tell you a story. I had this dude that I know. He wasn't a friend, so but he was a co-worker, and he was telling me about some people who came. I think it's from the Dominican Republic, and they went to Thanksgiving, okay, which is a holiday that just went by here in America, and in Thanksgiving they cook up a bunch of food, and everybody's just like piling on the plate, you know what I mean? Piling on the plate. And I remember people talking about, yeah, I can't wait for Thanksgiving, man. I'm gonna eat till I burst. I'm gonna eat till I burst. And I didn't quite understand what they mean. And they do try to eat till they burst. I ain't even joking. So much food. You could feed a whole village. But anyway, the dude was telling me that the guy was so amazed at how much food they have because where he's from they don't have that whole lot of food, and I tried to explain to him is where we're from the portions aren't that big, and it's not because we don't have it, because like for instance where I'm from, our food is in our backyard. We got the eggs in the backyard, the chicken in the backyard, and some of us have a cow, a goat, a sheep in the backyard. We plant our corn or peas and all that kind of stuff in the backyard. So we got the food back there. But the portions aren't as huge. And up to this day, I can't go to a restaurant. I gotta force myself to finish rest because coming from a third world country, we eat everything. We try not to waste anything. The portions are huge here. And enough for 3 people to eat. And I could never. And I remember when I was married, my ex-wife was from here an American, and she's always a complaint, man. You don't eat everything. I can't eat all this food. I am so full. It feels like it stops right there, and that's something that people just don't understand. They figure if you look in amazement at how much food there is, you're just not used to having food on your plate. What you talking about? We baked our own bread. Saturday was baking day when they had cakes, bread, everything. And then you put it up and you eat it as the week go by. You don't sit there and go, ooh, get me 10 slices. Ooh, let's put some bacon on that. Ooh, and just keep piling on the food and take, But let's keep going with this. That's interesting. And the thing about the tip, no, I'll be honest. On the island, we didn't eat out that much. I don't remember tipping waitresses and stuff on the island, unless you're a tourist. Because we know the tourists have money. So, they got to tip the waitress and thing. But I don't even remember going to eat in a restaurant and my mom tipping the waitress. I didn't know anything about that until I come here. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. And this is a serious thing. My ex-wife was a waitress for a while, and some of them deserve the tip because a lot of these people are so rude, and it's usually the rudest time is on a Sunday when they just came from church. Yeah, man, they're rude, you know. Whoa, excuse me. I ain't gonna edit that out neither. The weather keeps changing, it's like 60 something degrees when it was 20 degrees yesterday or day before. But anyway, let's get back to the video here and see what else they say.
Well, what goes with what? Pancakes for breakfast with fried chicken? Are you kidding me? Says the traveling European. And what about putting honey on bacon for breakfast? The Frenchman wanted mustard with his sliced beef and tasted something not like mustard, but a sweeter version with less bite. The Italian went to Chicago and in one restaurant ordered a pizza, only to be served what he thought looked more like a quiche or a cake. So, what about when Europeans head to the store? Again, the rather affable smile and general friendliness of staff may seem strange to someone from grumpy England, where service with a smile is certainly no guarantee. In fact, it's been remarked that American friendliness can result in some Europeans thinking something suspicious is afoot. If that European is in the store to buy a pack of cigarettes or a bottle of wine, they may be extremely surprised when they get asked for ID, as that might not have happened to them for over a decade or two. On top of Europe mainly having laxer laws on age restrictions, IDing people is not such a big deal as it is in America. Only in July this year, Oasis frontman Liam Gallagher said he was ID'd in the US after trying to buy cigarettes. He tweeted, "I've just been told I can't buy cigs unless I got ID. I'm 40 freaking 4. Has the world gone mad?" Indeed, in his home city of Manchester, he'd probably been buying his smokes for 30 years without a problem. And then the European looks inside his or her wallet, only to see a bunch of notes that all look the same, all the time wondering how this could possibly make any sense. The good thing is...
Here's another thing, the cigarettes, but this time it's about alcohol. My first year also living here in this area, we came from a gas station, and this young person come up to me and said, "Hey man, could you buy me some beer?" Well, I didn't think anything of it because there's no age limit where I'm from. I used to go to the store and buy, a fit of rum from my dad, you know what I mean? So it wasn't a big deal. Go in there, buy the beer, bring it out, give it to this kid, not knowing. And then, should I use her real name? I'm going to use the other name, Loretta. Let's just say her name is Loretta. Loretta said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I said, "Dude asked me to buy him some beer." And she said, "That's against the law. You can't do that." And that's when I found out there was age limit to buy alcohol here. I could have gone to jail for ignorance of the law. After that, I wasn't buying nothing for nobody. You know what I mean? But that's something else I had to learn of real quick. You know what I mean? And it's funny because, man, these so-called underage people, they drink up a storm here. I live right next to university. I could hear them drunk. Well, not so much now with the pandemic. Usually on a Saturday night, they're hooting and hollering down the street. This street is bar row. You know what I mean? And what was it? And something else they were talking about there too. The smiling of the person at the grocery store, fake. Some people are genuine. I might be genuine because I work at the grocery store, because I'm genuinely the friendly guy. I'm an islander, it's cool runnings, like the shirt said, it's cool runnings. But I guarantee you, it's fake. The companies make you do that stuff. Let me tell you how far they go, why you think they're friendly. No. They have secret shoppers coming through, and they grade you on how friendly you are. And if you're not friendly, you get a ding. on your record living there. So no, don't think that the friendliness is genuine. It's not. It's mandated by companies, especially if you're doing retail. You know what I mean? So let's clear that up right there, right now, because everybody's got, they call it their retail voice. Good morning, hello, how you doing? And then they say Southern charm, darling, sweetie, honey. Fake. Sorry to bust your bubble, Europeans. So when you come upon the scene here and you see them retail people smiling, and the waitresses come in and saying, "Ah, are you hungry? Do you need any more?" No, they won't searching for that tip. Capitalism on steroids, you know what I mean? They need the money. I ain't gonna even front. They need the money. But I'm telling you, all that smiling stuff, don't think, oh, these are some friendly people. No, these are some people that made to do that. Let's
All
go.
the time wondering how this could possibly make any sense. The good thing is, in America, you can pay with plastic just about anywhere, which is something many Europeans are still not used to. They may also be unpleasantly surprised to find out, when they do buy something, taxes get added on top of the price they saw. So they try and get back to their hotel, but have to.
That's another thing I had to get used to. Like on the island and thing, we go to the store, the price you see there is the price you pay. Send me to the store. Loretta sent me to the store to get something. Was it bread? And the bread was like 99 cents. And I thought I had enough. I had $1. It was $1.06. I was like, where did that 6 cents come from? And they say taxes. Lesson learned. Always walk with extra money. Yeah, that's something that's hard to get used to, you know what I mean?
Ask the way. They are told to walk 6 blocks this way and turn left. Only for some Europeans not familiar with the US, giving someone directions using blocks may seem weird. Parts of Europe were not built with city blocks in mind and just gradually spread in a way that makes it hard to find your way around. When they finally do get back, they settle down to watch some TV, only for some reason the shows are interspersed with commercials that seem to be longer than the actual minutes given to the actual content. This drives some Europeans
That's why I don't
crazy.
own a
At some
TV.
point, they might come across World Wrestling Entertainment and be quite confused at how some Americans can get so worked up about what to them looks like an act with an ending already scripted. You may have to be an American to enjoy that kind of drama with such passion. Turn over to the news, and depending on the channel, this may also look something like a drama or a soap opera to a European. They may easily believe they are watching a news satire. One of the great things in America, though, for some Europeans at least, is the fact that some things are open 24/7. Can't sleep? Just go out. Shopping hours are relatively quite restrictive in many European nations, but in most places in the US or near a big city, there is always something to do or buy in the middle of the night. In Europe, the BBC reported that London, England, and 6
Everything
cities in
is
Spain
open.
were the better 24-hour cities. Now we'll visit the sensitive issues of religion and patriotism. World Atlas puts America at the top of the list as the most Christian nation in the world. In the US, on any given day, you might hear the word God or at least see signs pointing to where you might find him. While parts of Europe are also predominantly Christian, the omnipresence of God in the streets may seem a little overbearing to many of these nations that have forgone church duty. It's the same with flags.
Let me tell you something. Where I live here, this is okay. Central area where I live. Church there. Church there. Church there. Church there. Now I could go on and on. 2 blocks down, church. Another couple of blocks down, church. There's a church pretty much on every corner in this little town. There's churches everywhere, man. It's crazy. I was going to say something, but makes for a real crazy Sunday walking at a restaurant as a waitress, because they come out and they're vicious. They just repented. They got some sense to give, so they're gonna be rude to the waitress. At least that's what Loretta told me. But let's keep going.
On church duty. It's the same with flags everywhere. You won't go far in America without seeing the stars and stripes, whereas in Europe, flags are usually designated to the top of poles outside of official buildings. Seeing one planted in a garden may induce a traveling European to believe that he is at the house of a hardcore nationalist, not just someone who is proud of where he comes from. Interesting side note, a 2014 survey revealed the most patriotic country in the world was Thailand, closely followed by the USA. While it may not seem too weird for Europeans, the fact that some people in the States carry firearms might might be scary. Per capita, more people in the States own guns than any other country. While most cops in Europe do carry guns, it's unusual to see a cop in England, Scotland, or Wales carrying a gun. The fact that regular Joes might be carrying a firearm seems fairly weird to
And
many
they do.
Europeans. It might not seem so strange to Serbians, who also have a high rate of guns owned per person. Size also matters to Europeans when traveling in the States. In America, everything just seems bigger, and not just the aforementioned dishes. The roads and streets seem larger for the most part, and if you don't have a car, it can seem hard to get anywhere, especially in a place like LA. The cars themselves seem a lot bigger, large enough to crush Mr. Bean in his Mini, and the people inside them also seem big on average, if not taller, then wider on average. The skyscrapers are taller, and in general, American houses statistically have a lot more space than the average European house.
They're
One
obsessed
survey
with
stated that
big.
The Danish had the most living space in Europe, still much less than Americans. but
Nobody's
much more than
obsessed
the
with me,
Brits,
though.
That to Americans might seem their whole house is smaller than their basement.
Unless
It
I'm
may
playing
not be that
basketball.
weird, but one might ask why everything is so big in the US. As for appearance, some Europeans may find the amount of Americans that are continually decked in what looks like gym wear a bit strange, as most are not going to the gym. Other styles that are mostly an 80s thing but seem to have stayed around a little are the big hairstyles on some older American women. Big lips and big breasts may also be a fashion weird to some Europeans, while in the USA the president still seems to sport a fake tan. On the positive side, Americans all seem to have such perfect white teeth, quite different from those Brits. This was hilariously depicted in an episode of The Simpsons in which the Big Book of British Smiles horrifically demonstrated the apparent lack of dental hygiene in the country. So, what do you Europeans out there find strange about Americans? And Americans, what do you think is weird about Europeans? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let me know in the comment section. Any of you who have traveled to America, let me know. And any Americans who have traveled to Europe, let me know in the comment section what you find. The little bit that I gave to you was just the small things that I had to get used to being in this country. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, I'm still getting used to certain things. You know, and just the other day, I was talking to a guy from Australia. He comes in there all the time at the grocery store, and we were having a conversation, and we were talking about cricket. And nobody knew what we were talking about. We were talking about a specific cricketer named Joel Garner, who was like 6'7", and I was talking about that. I thought it was a new Joel Garner. And the people they didn't understand what we were talking about. And I said, I'm sorry, we don't speak American, we speak English. They didn't like it too much. But anyway, man. Thank you all for watching this with me. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Go check out this channel. You could watch the video without me stopping and talking all excitedly and thing, you know what I mean? But thank you all for watching, alright? Take care of each other. Cool runnings.